Hello and welcome to an afternoon edition of Two Girls in a Book Fangirl Thursday. I am super excited to continue this month's theme of Spooktacular reads with you guys. And my special guest for you this evening is dun, da, da, da. It's thinking, ta-da, Miss Elle Beaumont.
Hello.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to have you here. You have a new Halloween anthology coming out, which of course is a spectacular idea for this time of the year. I love the cover. I think it's really great and it's perfect for the stories in this anthology. How did you and the other authors in this project come together for this?
So I actually recently just launched Midnight Tide Publishing. It's a co-op house, so we're all pitching in together. And I wanted to do this project with the new members, and the new founding members happen to be the authors that are in this book. It is Christy, Melanie Gilbert, which you know that name, Heather Karn, another name you know, and then myself. We were the founding members, and I was like, girls, do you want to do this? Is it something you'd be interested in? Let's just kind of do like a soft opening, which, hey, by the way, it wasn't a soft opening. It was a crash landing and everybody rushed in to join this. But we decided to put this together, and I was like, you know what? Let's do a Halloween anthology. And there we go. Something in the Shadows was born, and it is the four of us with unique and spooky stories.
What type of creeptastic stories can we find in Something in the Shadows?
So you can find a Headless Horseman retelling in there. You can find a vampire origin story. You can find a demon story. And then you can also find another ghosty story in there with some dark romance vibes.
Nice. Couldn't see around the corner. There we go. There is a copy of the cover for you guys. And if everything is working properly on Be Live, there should be a buy link popping up in the comments for you guys as well. The book is also featured on my blog today, twogirlsinabook.com. You can go on there and check it out. I do not have my review up yet, but it will be going up on release day, which is October the 28th. So just in time for Halloween and an absolutely perfect read for this time of year. Tell us, excuse me, I'm so sorry. So I enjoy anthologies because I get to discover new to me authors. And in Something in the Shadows, I discovered you as well as Christus because I already know Heather and Melanie. I met them at Once Upon a Book at a book event. And I've also been beta reading for probably about a year and a half for Melanie as well. So it was neat to dive into this and meet new authors for myself as well. What other genres, what other type of books and things do you write?
I largely write fantasy. I love writing new adult stuff. I do write YA stuff as well. I do have a ton of YA stuff that is out. It's all fantasy. So it's interesting for me to have written this particular story that's in this book because this is the first time I've actually written a contemporary supernatural. Because I write like those medieval fantasy and those epic fantasies, like that kind of stuff. So this was completely new territory for me to write.
Do you have a newsletter or website or anything where people can get more information on your books?
Yes, you can visit lbeaumontbooks.com and it has all my books up there. And I also have a newsletter, which I always toss out amazing stuff on there. But you can find my newsletter on my website, which is lbeaumontbooks.com.
And it's also at the bottom of the screen for you guys if you want to check her out there. Also, make sure you check out midnighttide.publishing.com as well. There are some great titles and some amazing authors over there for you guys to check out. What else do you have coming up with Midnight Tide?
The whole catalog or me personally?
The catalog.
Okay, so we actually just recently had The Pan, which is a Peter Pan reimagining. It is not a retelling. It's as if this is a couple decades after Peter Pan, and it has this amazing science fiction aspect. So all the fantasy that you're used to, it's actually explained with science. There is The Girl in the Clockwork Tower, which is a steampunk Rapunzel retelling. There is Ragnarok Unwound, which is a wonderful mash of mythologies. Hawaiian mythology meets Norse mythology, and it
Ooh.
clashes together. I loved it. It's this quirky humor in it, and yeah, it's great. It also kind of has, let me see, Loki in it, so that's a reason for me to read it. Um, we also have The Curse of Thorn, which is a Melanie Gilbert book that
Mhm.
came out. Oh my gosh, off the top of my head, we have so much coming out. We have like 9 books coming out. If you go to Midnight
Wow.
Tide, yeah, if you go to midnighttide.publishing.com and you go to our blog, you can actually see our fall catalog that is displayed right up in there. You can visit all of our books. But we also have another anthology coming out in December. That one is actually in a book box. That's in the Beacon book box. And we have 700 copies going out to,
Wow.
yeah. So that was really exciting. Because this is our first, it's not even our first year, it's our first like 5 months even.
Yeah, you guys are babies. Wow, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, we also have Lyrics and Curses, which is a supernatural Pretty in Pink meets Stranger Things. That's a really interesting YA book. um, What else do we have? We have Spun Gold, which is a Rumpelstiltskin origin novella that's coming out in November. I mean, we have so much coming out. I could I could go on and on with our catalog. So
That is awesome. I did pop over and check out a few things over there, and yeah, you guys are jumping over there. For anyone who is just joining us, we have Elle Beaumont with us. We've been talking about the upcoming Halloween anthology, Something in the Shadows. We've also been talking about her new venture over at midnighttide.publishing.com. The link to that is showing down below for you guys as well. So make sure you check that out. We appreciate it. You guys, whoops, popping in with us. My screen got really funky. There we go. Back to normal. Okay. Do you have a little excerpt to share with us from Something in the Shadows?
so I am going to pick a random page. I'm not gonna look, but I will figure out who it's by. Okay, so this is actually Christus Christie. Do you want me to pick another one? Because I know you're in the middle of reading it.
No, that's
Okay.
fine. I really don't mind if it spoils it. That doesn't
Okay.
bother me at all. I will still read it.
All right. I'm just checking because I honestly just flicked to a random page and it happens to be her story. Okay, so this is Christus Christie's story, which is, I'm having a brain fart right now on the title of it, which I think it's Darkness Untold by Christus Christie. 1191 CE, Paris, France. A supple maid sat perched in his lap, feeding him bits of pork from her fingertips, which he took as offered, despite them tasting like ash in his mouth. Though his body had ceased requiring such sustenance long ago, and anything ingested now would need to be brought up later, appearances must be maintained. So, as another juicy piece of roasted pork was brought to his lips, Tommaso accepted it with grace, his eyes meeting those of the young woman as he purposely grazed her fingers with his teeth while doing so. He watched the responsive shiver travel through her body and noted the slight elevation in her breathing. Maso, how is it your name speaks of Italy, but your voice has no hint of your homeland? Marie asked in a breathy tone, her hazel eyes silently offering what her body had been all evening. I have not lived here in many years, he murmured in response, his own gaze taking him away from her face into the room at large instead. Across the great hall, Alcaeus had gathered a small harem of beautiful and willing supplicants of all shapes and sizes and sexes. It was always the same, no matter where they went. His aura was an allure many could not resist, and Tommaso was certain any number of them would be joining them back in their guest chambers once they had concluded. However, none of them would be calling it a night until King Philip had retired for the evening, and His Royal Highness seemed in no hurry to end the celebrations for his return from the Crusades. King Philip was deep in the spirits, and it would seem the whole of the court had followed suit with frequent laughter, riotous conversation, and a continuous flow of wine. Tommaso found himself embittered by it, a sea of sordid souls partaking in gluttony and the lasciviousness to their heart's content, all morality a thing forgotten until Maro's facades were slid back into place. And I will stop there, so I don't want to spoil it.
Ooh. Well, I now know what happens to Tommaso.
There you go.
That sounds intriguing. I am currently reading that one. So I have read Melanie's story, which you hinted about earlier. It deals with I completely drew a blank. The Headless Horseman. And I loved it. It was funny and spooky and quite the little page turner. I thought she did a great job with that. Your story was the first one that I read, and it's the first thing that I read from you, and I figured it out. I don't want to spoil it. I got to a point and I went, wait a minute. And I paused here, bookmarked here, and thumbed back through, and I'm like, yeah. And then I flipped back to the page and kept on, and then it was like, the moment, the unveiling moment. And I thought it was such a hauntingly beautiful and romantic story all at the same time. Where did that story come from? Where did that idea come from?
I don't know. Honestly, I spoke to Melanie throughout this entire story, and I said, I'm not smart enough for this story. I can't write this. Like, how am I supposed to write this? And like, I can't say that much because I don't want to spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
And even kind of like hinting towards it is like, oh yeah, something's coming. But like, I was like, I don't know if I'm smart enough to pull this off, like to keep this going. Like, and she's like, you'll do fine. You'll do fine. And I'm like, okay, I have to come up with a story. And it was kind of last minute. I wrote this in like 2 weeks, and it left me 2 weeks to have this edited. And I went to bed and I'm like, you know what? Let me scroll through Pinterest. I pulled up Pinterest and went to my muse board, which is honestly just pictures that I save, and I can scroll through it later to see if it will spark something. Like, does this tell me a story just looking at it? And I found these 2 models that I had saved and a house picture that I had saved. And then it just kind of like snowballed. And I saw this gorgeous cover that was for sale. It had gorgeous flowers on it. And I was like, you know what? I've got a story brewing. And that was really where it took me. What's this story? What is her story? Where is she from? That all came to life as I was writing it. I didn't have a plan going into this, which was scary because I'm like, this is too much. Like there's so much going
Are you
on.
normally a planner and have it all hammered out, either in an outline or in your head going in?
In my head. I don't have it on paper going in,
Mm-hmm.
but I have kind of gone over to the dark side in that way because it actually helps me like truck through it faster. But I usually have something in my head, an outline in my head. This one, I'm like, I don't really know what's going on. We'll see as we write. And I know I sent Melanie the first like 600 words, and I'm like, is this absolute crap? Like, is this. Does this sound okay? Does that even make sense? Like, would you read this? And she's like, well, yes, I would read it. You need to keep writing it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure you'll figure it out and it'll be great. And
It is. It's
I
great.
guess.
I enjoyed it. I will tell you off the air what point I got to and went, wait a minute, and then flip back through. So yeah, I thought it was a great story, and I was very hesitant those last few pages, thinking that it was not going to be a good ending. And so I breathed a sigh of relief there at the very end. I was like, because it's, it's sad, but it gets, I guess, a little more resolved. At least somebody was happy at the end of it.
Yeah. There was, I'll talk to you later about it because I'm like, there's a character that he's a jerk. You think he's a jerk, you know?
Mhm. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And that was the hardest part to write for me was
Mm-hmm.
that character, that particular character.
Yes. When I had my aha moment and I went back and things made to reread certain sections made it sound completely different in my head then. So yeah, it was really good. And the way I would imagine that it was difficult to write that. And I know we are vague booking so bad, you
I know.
guys. Hopefully it's teasing you enough to want to read this story. Because you guys know I don't carry on about a story unless I really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, just you're gonna want to pre-order this book. And if I didn't mention it before, and I don't think I did, it is 99 cents right now. So hello. And it is wide. You can get it from Kindle, Nook, Kobo, wherever. So if you're looking for it and you can't find it, just go to the website midnightidepublishing.com and you can find all the information there. But yeah, definitely check it out. It's worth spending the 99 cents, getting introduced to some new to you authors, or even if you know all of them. You of course have to have this as well, and it is absolutely perfect for Halloween. Definitely. If you guys have any questions for Elle, go ahead and get them posted over in the comments. I do see that a couple of people have popped in. Bear with me because BeLive likes to hide comments and questions from me, so I'll be strolling through on my phone as well, but we will go ahead and get started with one. Are you able to see it on your side?
I can actually. So yay.
Okay.
All right. Would you like me to answer them as they pop up?
Yes.
Okay. So, how do I cope with too many ideas in your head? So, I actually write them out. If it's nagging me a lot, what I'll do is I'll actually outline the idea so I don't forget everything. Because what I'll do is I'll shove it off and I'll put it like, oh, that dragon story, and kind of like shelf that idea. But if I don't want to lose any details, I will outline it and I'll say, it's got to wait because this baby right now needs to be born. That one can be born later. And that's generally how I deal with my busy, busy head.
Sorry, I was
No, that's
checking
okay.
the other page. Let's see what else we have over here. We have Charlene Price and we have Angie Reddy and Shonda Hahn all out there watching on the Lynn Shaw page. So thank you guys so much for popping in. I have it pulled up now. If you want to post any questions over there, I'll be sure and get those as well. We appreciate all of you joining us this afternoon. If you happen to come back and watch this later as a replay, you can always still post your comments and questions. I will make sure to go back in and tag Elle so that she can come back in and get those answered for you guys as well. If you are watching this on YouTube, hello, and make sure you like and subscribe to the channel so you can keep up with all the book news and all the hot new interviews as well. So diving back in, looks like we have Mary Eager with us this afternoon, and all of her questions, did it pop up? Yeah, there we go.
Yes, they are fun to write, especially if they're not quite as they seem. That's all I'll say. I will say this. I will say this about my story and Something in the Shadows. I wanted the end to be a point where you rewound until the beginning.
Yes.
And looked at it like, hold on. That's what I wanted the reader to like. In my head, I saw it like a movie where it stops and then it rewinds and you see everything differently. That's exactly what I wanted. That was my goal.
Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Thank you. Was it difficult for me to write a book? Yes, it really was. I had so many doubts going into this. Like I said earlier, am I smart enough for this? Because it was really tricky to write. When you read it, you're going to understand like, oh, wow, yeah, I can see why this would be tricky. To make it believable for a ghost story and what this character and all the characters really are going through, to give each of them a depth of their own. Not new to me because I love writing fleshed out characters, but in a contemporary setting, it was very difficult for me. With a supernatural, like, how do you deal with, like, how do you write a ghost story? People do it, but I don't. Like, it was completely new to me. And experience, like, delving into the elements with the supernatural aspects and all of that. And the mystery upon mystery that was in this story, there were so many layers of it to figure out. It was very difficult for me. Very difficult. And then I was crazy enough to do it again for Link by Link.
You would not know, having read that short story, that that's not commonplace, that you don't normally write in that genre or those types of stories. It flowed very well. And you nailed all the key elements that you need for that type of story. I especially liked the small door that went into the tiny little room when she went in and she found some belongings of the previous owners in there. That was a nice touch because, again, that's like key for when you're writing a scary story, is to have something in the cellar or the attic or some tiny little hidden little room, you know. So yeah, as soon as she found that, I was like, don't go in there. Don't go in there. You're not going to find anything good in there. Don't go in there.
I actually rewrote that scene a little bit. It was shorter to begin with, and I was like, that's not good enough. So I dove deeper into explaining things a little bit more in that. And I was like, I like that. That's probably like one of my favorite scenes, is the attic scene.
Yeah, it was good. We have a question over on the other page from Danielle. She wants to know when the paperback will be available of Something in the Shadows.
It is available now for pre-order everywhere. It should be available. Sometimes Ingram doesn't play nice. That's my wholesale distributor. But it should be available on Amazon for pre-order, Barnes & Noble, wherever you can get a paperback. It should be on release day. You should be able to get it through IndieBound, which for those, I don't know if everybody's familiar with IndieBound, you can actually search your local indie bookstore and purchase it right through them, and it will be delivered to your bookstore.
Awesome. I did see that it is available on Amazon for you to pre-order the ebook for 99 cents. And I want to say that the paperback was $10.99, but I'm not going to swear to that.
I want to say it's $10.99 too.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that either, but I'm pretty sure that it's my book, but I can't quite remember.
Well, you have a lot going on, lady. I mean, really, wow.
Yeah, it's busy.
If you guys have any other questions for Elle, go ahead and get those posted so that we can get those questions answered for you guys. I appreciate everyone for popping in this afternoon and hanging out with us. I'm kind of liking doing this early at 5 because it means I can go chill out and have a cocktail, have dinner a little later on. Usually I'm working till 4:30 and running to cook dinner or to go out and grab some fast food or something, and then come back in and get everything loaded and ready for the live. And then at 7:30 I'm on and I'm going live, and then it's like 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'm scrubbing off all the makeup and everything I had to put on so I looked decent for this. And then I'm like, okay, I gotta unwind now, you know? So I have plenty of time to unwind tonight. So this is kind of nice doing it a little earlier.
Yeah, I have young kids, so I have to get them ready for bed and everything. So I cooked dinner already. I started cooking dinner at 3:30. I'm like, it's early dinner for you guys. I have an interview to do.
Yeah, I have Elizabeth Kirk on a lot, and she has 2 toddlers. So we do hers at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon while her kids are napping. And it never fails. Her oldest always comes in the middle of the show, and he pops in and he says hello, and he asks tons of questions during that time, and we roll with it. I'm like, don't worry about it. Just go with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do pop in and do these at different times. We try to be accommodating.
I have a 9 and a 6-year-old, but my 6-year-old is a little needy, so she's been scratching at the door for the entire the entire interview.
I have dogs just lined up over here to my left. You guys can't see them, but they're everywhere, all just sacked out. I'm waiting for the door to open for my husband to come home and for them to all freak out at any moment. Let's see if we have any more. Well, I don't see any additional questions coming in, so we are going to wrap this up. I appreciate you joining me today, Elle. It was really nice to meet you, and this was fun to do with you.
Thank you.
I will definitely have to check out some more of your books. You guys make sure you head over to ellebeaumont.books.com to see all of her work and to also sign up for the newsletter there. And I think when I was checking it out earlier, you get some free novellas if you sign up for your newsletter as well.
You get 3. You get 1 a week. So for 3 weeks, you get a novella each week. So there you go.
Awesome.
And I will say I have, for those who are watching, I have a newsletter that's coming out on Wednesday for the release of Something in the Shadows. And in that, if you purchase, I'm letting you guys know because I love you, but if you purchase a copy of Something in the Shadows, take a picture, a screenshot of your receipt, and send it to me. And you will be entered into a giveaway for a $25 gift certificate to Willow Ridge Candles, which is my candle shop. So there you go. That is my thank you and your opportunity to win a gift card.
Fantastic. I have already pre-ordered. I can't wait. Again, you guys can pick up a copy of the book on all the major outlets, or you can go to midnighttide.publishing.com and you can order it there. The paperback we think is $10.99, And the ebook is currently 99 cents if you pre-order now. So make sure you guys run out and pick that up. I appreciate everyone for joining us today, and thank you for coming on as well. It was very nice to meet you, Elle. You guys have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you all next time.